This is a game where your life is at stake. Seven days to break this card or face death. Defy loans, squander fortunes, embrace the cold, even toy with others' lives. You fancy yourself master of mortal fates, yet never forget the blade above your neck descends closer with each dawn. This is a game where your life is at stake. Seven days to break this card or face death. Defy loans, squander fortunes, embrace the cold, even toy with others' lives. Fancy yourself master of mortal fates, yet never forget the blade above your neck descends closer with each dawn.
Sultan really is a great story. When Munan first wrote it, he was very worried. He kept complaining to me, "Can I even write this? This is too much." Then after 2 months later, that moment came. I wrote a spinning brass XX story. Starting from that point, with the team's collaboration, the story of Sultan was born. I told the planners, "You are the first in game history to decide that for the level design, we need parties. Be proud." We players say that we're just tricking perverts into joining the army. Later, when I was writing, I began to feel a lot of pressure if this content didn't have heavy enough of a story to support it. Writing would feel completely flavorless, and there's this thought that I had that what people love the most isn't just pure If what people loved was just pure then games would definitely be the best-selling games, and it's obviously not the case. I think the whole development team, if you told them beforehand, they might not have agreed to it. Honestly, none of us ever imagined we'd reach this step. We needed to draw a staff of life, and that we had to convince ourselves not to imagine how the artist would find references. I sent them lots of weird reference materials. It had to look like that thing, but not be that thing. The thing we struggled over was that I told the artist that this thing needed to be filled with blue ether, according to teacher Munan's description. It's full of it, and there's a faint electric current on it, so it gives off a slightly mechanical feel. But it shouldn't feel too cold or too stiff. It needs to give people a sense that it's something alive. This was probably the hardest piece of communication for the whole game. But after that, since we even managed to communicate that, things were fine. We discussed things in a very academic fashion. Let me give a very simple example. In the game, you can directly compete with the House of Pleasure. Then, our colleague forgot to properly block the content. So one of the who works the by day and also works for you by night, she was so busy. Something like that. And our planner asked about it, if it is okay for a to work in two fools. I said, what kind of devilish question is that? Because we treat people as a single unit, with an automatic absorption kind of operating model. Sometimes it ends up strangely realistic, inexplicably so. Anyway, since the project started in December 2023, the entire development went very smoothly. It was completed almost without any rework before the funds ran out. It was practically textbook level project management. As a game packed with moral challenges, I don't want to lecture players in the game, I don't want to preach anything. Some people think killing certain characters doesn't matter, and everyone's view on who it's okay to kill are totally different and wildly varied. When you choose, when your soul becomes stained, you see the true shapes of your soul. you realize deep down which lives you're willing to sacrifice. Alright then, I'll just keep writing. Until you're scared, I'll show you hell. If you've seen hell and not feel a trace of mercy, not a trace of fear, not even a trace of disgust, then go. Then walk into the abyss. If you told me 10 years ago that I'd go to the office, make a cup of tea, open my laptop and write all morning, would I believe it?
gamezplay.org